Nicki Minaj claims Ice Spice is the people's princess. Jussie Smollett is back in the news again, and Amy Robach and TJ Holmes might have a new show. Stay tuned. What up, y'all? Welcome back to this weekly review. You already know it's your boy DJ Jesse J. Y'all, I'm sorry it's late. Like, when I tell you, I don't know if it's daylight savings time that fucked me up or just like being on the West Coast and like now the time is like hitting me because, baby, the way it was just 3 o'clock and I was like, oh, not at 7. Okay. And I know to all y'all on the East Coast, because when I was doing this on the East Coast, that's a late night. So I appreciate you here in the chat joining us. So thank you. Put a little hey so I can give you guys a little shout out. You already know we got Courtney Stewart in the building. Hey, boo. Looking real cozy.
Real cozy, child. Trying to make it work. It's been a day.
Cue Beyonce. Cozy. Cozy. And you know, we got celebrity wealth expert Dario Kristen. What up, brother?
What's up? What's up? Happy to be back.
Hey,
nice seeing you in LA now.
You know what I'm saying?
LA looks good.
Thanks. You know what I mean? And even though we're like streaming, just, you know what I mean? Because we got some stuff going on here. But even though we're streaming, I feel like because I get to see you guys during the week, I feel like the energy heightens up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because like when I was on that East Coast, 10 o'clock hit, and I'm like exhausted. And I'm exhausted now. But what is it called? Jet lag. I feel like I got some major jet lag and daylight savings lag all hitting me at the same time. But let's get into some topics. You already know I got to start with Nicki Minaj. So Nicki Minaj is back. She had her Red Ruby to sleeves. We streamed it live. And I'm never going to do that again. I'm never, like, if a song drops right now, I'm never going to stream it because I'm too judgmental. Like, when it comes to stuff that I love, like, and I just needed my moment. I love the song. You know, am I like gonna play it all the time? No, I think I don't know if it's like giving me like iconic, but it's everything. I'm here for it. Lyrically, dope.
You are at a love for the song. Okay.
You said I have a love. Yes, I have a love for the song.
Said you are at love for the song. Okay.
Oh, you're not into it?
I'm actually fairly indifferent. I wasn't super impressed, but I'm not unimpressed. Like, it's not total garbage, but I'm not like, yeah, I need to turn that on right now.
Yeah, that's the thing. I haven't found myself like, honestly, like it's kind of crazy because Doechii has a song coming out tonight, and I haven't been excited for a song to release in a really long time. And I like the way she's been marketing it, like on TikTok and giving like little clips and previews. Like I finally have excitement for like a single to drop. So I'm excited to see what Doechii's about to put out. But last week, you know, we do the show and then Queen Radio went up. Nicki announced that she has her own record label coming out. And I love that for her. And some of the people she has signed, I don't really know 3 of them, to be honest. Nana, Fofi, Tate, Kobana, Rico, Dana. Don't know who they are. Got to check them out. But I do know London Hill, and I do love London Hill. So that makes me very excited. And I am happy that she picked a Barb because London Hill low-key is a Barb, or high-key is a Barb. So I'm excited to see how she works with that. Another thing in the news, also, I didn't realize how many people don't know who Ice Spice is. If you don't, check her out. She's a vibe. Yeah,
she's everywhere. I'm
surprised. That surprises me because I don't know anybody.
Well, the funniest thing is Eric didn't know. This is like total inside conversation. Eric didn't even know who Ice Spice was till like 2 days ago, and I was shook by that. And I was like, "What?" So
What?
either or, check Ice Spice out. She's literally everywhere. Nicki Minaj claimed her as the people's princess, or tweeted that. Now she has a song called Princess Diana. So people are saying Nicki was just saying, quoting her lyrics from the song. She was on, I think, Days magazine, or whatever. This is the picture right over here of her on the magazine cover. Super cute. Good for her. You know what I mean? I thought it was a little weird that, like, I feel like Kim Kardashian rented her out for the day and had her hang out with North, and I thought that was interesting. I don't know if she really rented her out. She probably just said, like, hey, girl, come over. And, like, if Kim Kardashian asked me to come over and play with North, absolutely am. Like, so
Absolutely.
so,
That's gonna like
Absolutely.
increase your audience by millions.
exactly. So, and now everyone, including Eric, knows who Ice Spice is. So shout out to Kim Kardashian and Nicki Minaj for helping Ice Spice's career. Okay. Two things I'm really excited about this week. And I just wanted to start with the Nicki thing because go download Red Ruby to Sleaze because I love her and we're always going to promote Nicki Minaj here. But I never in my life thought I would say shout out to Black China because I'm actually quite impressed with the direction that she's taking. Now, will this last long? Who knows? Because I've had my heart broken before when people are like, I'm going to be this, and then 2 weeks later, they're not. I'm very interested to see if Black China, if someone in Black China's ear is telling her, like, be the antithesis of the Kardashians. Where, you know, the Kardashians, they're like, no, I don't take Ozempic. Like, I totally just didn't eat to fit in that. Or, like, I'm, like, eating really healthy. I'm vegan sometimes. Like, it's always like, oh, I didn't get my lips done. It's just like, oh, wow. How do I change my entire appearance to, like, look like something or somebody else? You
With
know,
no surgery.
oh, I didn't get any filler. I didn't do that. Like, I just do squats. It's like, you know, I feel like we live in a world where you have to get to a point where it's like, okay, I get you not wanting like other girls to know and stuff like that, but now at this point, like kids are watching you. And there's this young generation that honestly, what's Courtney's daughter's name?
Penelope.
Penelope. I was at Starbucks this morning on TikTok and Penelope popped up and she's like putting like foundation on and all these night creams and all these stuff. I'm like, you're like 8. Like the first ever, like my mom would like wash our face with like a washcloth, you know what I mean? And like you use whatever, like the Dial soap or whatever. I don't know what kind of fucking soap I was using back then, but it wasn't like I had like a skincare routine before the age of like what, 16, where like Proactive was probably the first thing I was ever like
Like
introduced as like,
Noxzema.
yeah, it was like a step.
I like Noxzema, you know.
Noxzema. Remember the Noxzema
Neutrogena.
girl?
Okay, but when you did okay, so say you had Noxzema, right, or Neutrogena, but you did that like in the shower, right? You didn't have like did you have a 3-step process in like middle school where you?
No. I mean, the only
Definitely
process
not
I had
middle
was not middle school, but I definitely had a Proactive routine. But that's when I was getting out like the acne. So
Yeah, but that was for me. That was high school.
the cream. Yeah, it was like it was like around that time period, like into high school, beginning of college, kind of thing.
And then I feel like
Yeah,
Proactive was like,
but we had Clinique. Everybody did Clinique when I was
Oh,
in high school.
Clinique.
Like you had a 3 parts. You had a like bar of soap, you had a toner and a moisturizer with Clinique.
okay, in middle
That's true.
school you had that?
No, again, this was high school. This was definitely not
High
middle
school.
school.
Right. Like, so again, for me, it was like a washcloth and like bar soap, and you scrub it and you just
Yes.
wipe your face off before bed and you hop in the bed, like lotion my face. I didn't think about that at like 10. And then whatever.
Well,
So then I'm
We
looking.
definitely still lotion our faces, but that's also because we're black.
Oh, well, I was gonna say like I remember my mom doing like Vaseline, like she would put it in the crevices of like my like the smile lines, and then she would like do it on my neck, like that kind of stuff. But like again, no process. I wasn't like, I don't know. So then when I see Penelope like squirting all these products on her, and it's like, girl, what are you doing? Like, what is this? Like, this is like super preventative, I guess, right? Like, are these chemicals even, are they all natural? Are these chemicals good for a child to be like starting this young at? I don't know. It just kind of makes me worried. Either or, to get back to Black China. Black China is on this whole like, she wants to be done with OnlyFans. and she recently was on Instagram showing people her getting fillers removed from her face, which is wild. And like low key, we'll talk about it in Miami. Like, I just want that for Larsa Pippen. Larsa Pippen's Jordan, excuse me. No, I'm just kidding. I just want that for Larsa because, like, when they really showed that throwback, like, I know we always be talking about it, but it's just like, it's starting to get out of hand, you guys. And, like,
Starting.
well, like, when I say out of hand, I feel like the filler in all these women is building up so much that it looks crazy. It's like, girl, now you look crazy. It was cute for a minute, but it's like you keep going back and this stuff is sagging and sagging. So I appreciate Black China showing that and being open and honest about having it, why she wants to get it removed, and kind of toning back on this, whatever movement this is with like the getting fillers. Like, because again, the Kardashians are like, it's like when you look at Kim in 2018 to now, she looks like she has an eating disorder. And it's like, girl, just be open and tell people like you take this shot, or be open and say you have an eating disorder, because you do have a huge platform. And I don't believe she has an eating disorder. I believe, well, I guess that low key is a part of it. I think that's more body dysmorphia, but I don't know. Did you guys see the Black China thing? What are your thoughts on it? How do you feel? Do we think this is just a quick little movement and she'll be back to shaking her ass and doing all the things, or what do you think?
I mean, I'm go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Courtney.
I was just gonna say, I mean, I've been saying for a long time, I'm like ready for us to move out of the BBL phase of beauty. So even, and it's kind of funny to like it. You said how like somebody must be in her ear saying do the exact opposite of the Kardashians. I actually think the opposite of that. Somebody's clearly also in her ear saying, because that's exactly what the Kardashians are doing. They're peeling back, because the running joke about the Kardashians for like the last probably year and a half is that Kim has turned back into a whole white woman. And they're dissolving their butts. The butts aren't quite as big. They're not doing as much. I mean, Kylie still looks like she's full of filler in her face, which is sad to me because Kylie's all of 24, 25 years old, and she looks like a 40-year-old woman with a lot of good work done. So, I mean, on the plus side, I think it's great because and it's not to like say that cosmetic procedures, look, if it makes you feel better, there's goodness in it, but I do think we've swung that pendulum way too far one direction, and there needs to be some moderation coming up, and I'm glad to see it.
Yeah, and when I said antithesis, I think it's more of the fact of being open about it, like saying like, yeah, I got my ass done, I don't like it anymore. Like this whole like lying about it, it's like, baby, squats don't make your thighs look like that.
Exactly.
What do you think, D?
And you don't grow a butt like that with thighs like that.
Right.
I mean, I hope that we are moving to a place. I look at somebody like a Black China that maybe is coming to a point where she's getting older and, she's got children and maybe she's trying to set a different example. Maybe she's maturing, I would hope that it's not just a publicity stunt. It's just like, this is the moment right now. And then next year she's back to, some of the old ways and has 5 fans only pages, something like that. But I feel like this might be a transition for her because she has not been as vocal or controversial in the news as of late. And I feel like maybe she is coming to a new stage in her life that hopefully this will stick for a long time.
Yeah.
And I would like for celebrities just to be real and say what they're really doing, because at the end of the day, reality TV is not reality TV. And unfortunately, a lot of the younger generation think that these things are they can naturally do these things, or enhancing your body is something that's just your go-to. So I really do hope that some of these people start to be honest about what's going on and how they're really looking, how they really look. And it's funny, I just saw this new Instagram the other day that was a picture of, it said Khloe Kardashian in real life and Khloe Kardashian on IG. And you could definitely see the difference.
Oh yeah, I know it. I think I know what it is. It's like, I'm pretty sure there's a dermatologist. She has a page and she goes and finds the unedited photo of everything and posts it so that you can see, because it's like skin texture is real. Like, and we're really creating this thing, and younger generation. I feel like, you know, it's like at my age, you know, I think about what I didn't care about or anything like that. Like even like my nephew just went viral on my TikTok, and I've never had to think about like, oh, what happens at 7 years old? When like 7 years old, we didn't have that. So like I wasn't thinking about likes or things like that. And now I have to think about like, do I want my nephew thinking about how many likes did that get? How many streams? How many like what? At what age do you introduce certain things to kids? Like, and then the beauty thing, you know, filters are fun when they're like the goofy ones, but then when it's like you start seeing everybody with these filtered high cheeks and all this stuff and it's unrealistic, what are we creating? What type of imagery and thoughts are we creating within the next generation? And I think it is
we're just building their insecurities.
Well, and I think it's interesting. Gucci is they're not using Photoshop for their ads or pictures anymore. But like, it's so dramatic. It's like, okay, but now you're like looking for someone with like pock marks, like, and that can put the total opposite. And it's like, well, ew, you know what I mean? Like into someone's head like that, where it's like, just find a fucking person, hire a model, and say, we're not going to filter you. And so we can see the model with normal skin. Because I'm telling y'all, live in LA, and you will never look at an ad the same. Because when you see a lot of the times, some of these models, you be like, they
look like totally different people.
When I tell you, there was one, I mean, I know beautiful models, do not get it twisted, but I'm not going to lie. There was this one time we was looking at this one girl and we was gagging. We was like, oh my gosh, she is. When I tell you, I walked right past this girl in the lobby, couldn't find her, and she was sitting on the bench the whole time. And we was like, oh, she's like, oh, hi, I'm the model. And we were like, whoa, okay. Like, because everything was so photoshopped and filtered. It's like it's literally like how I question like Kylie, like, what are you gonna like show pictures of yourself to your daughter? Like, and then it's like the daughter's gonna look like, who's that? I don't know. Right. I just think it's interesting. And the Gucci ad thing was interesting too, because I just felt like it was so dramatic. And it's like, I don't know if that's better or worse, you know?
I think there needs to be a happy median. I mean, I have a friend, she's a reality star. I work with her, and she has 2 daughters, young daughters. And every time I look at her IG live, I mean, I actually have forgotten what she looks like because it's so filtered. And she uses all these different kinds of filters. And when you see her in person, she's a beautiful girl, but she almost looks like Avatar-ish to me on her IG lives now, or her IG stories, because she filters so much. And I'm like, girl, you don't need to do all that. Like, you're beautiful. But she just transitions into a whole other person. And I noticed she started putting one of her daughters on there. And I'm like kind of what you just said, when your daughter gets older and she's, you know, what are you going to say to her? Or what are you saying to her now? You know what I mean? Because I'm sure you're showing her the IG stories that you're posting because she's on there now and she's young, you know, and yeah, it starts to be a little crazy.
Yeah, and I just think like, you know, it's like, what kind of conversation are the Kardashians having with their kids? Like, no, honey, no Ozempic until you're 17. Like, it's just like, you know, like Botox at 13, Ozempic at 17. We want to be responsible. Like, I can't. And PM16 says, hey guys, I feel bad for people following these celebrities with fillers and BBLs who may not have the money or resources to go removing it. Now that it's not a trend anymore, LOL, don't follow fads. Right. And again, I do know, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to lie, you guys. Like, I've never really wanted a tattoo. I've never really wanted to do anything to my body, except, I mean, I have been made fun of for my nose, and, like, I've thought about getting a nose job. And when I say think about it, it's never really going to happen. But, like, the ideas come up. Like, especially being in LA, you have access to people. And it's like, oh, I could do you a favor. It's like, well, I don't want to post my whole thing to the world. What if it doesn't come out right? Like, then it's like, well, hey, guys, you know. And it's funny because I followed this one guy, super attractive, like, Middle Eastern. We have very similar features. And he has a very prominent nose. I thought he was a very attractive person. And he was very open about how he went and got a nose job. And still attractive, but just like it didn't do much to his face. Now, I've seen it do crazy things to people's faces, but it didn't really do much to his face. And it kind of made me feel like, well, good thing I never did go through all of that for myself. I don't know. So, I mean,
here's my thing. I don't have a problem. I mean, this is your body. Meaning anyone who wants to do anything, any change to their body, I have no problem with that. It's just the scary thing is like you don't know exactly what you're going to get. If you look at someone, I'll use Ashley Simpson for an example. She has been vocal about the fact that she got a nose job. I think her nose does look great. She had a good nose job. There are some that do get great nose jobs, but then there are some that you see and you're like, whoa, what happened? So I think the scary part is too, you don't know what you're going to get. If you want to change your body, that's your prerogative. You know what I mean? It's just, you just don't know what you're going to get.
It's true. And I would just personally like to see a little more conversation around the ideas and facts that plastic surgery is addictive. Because when you start nitpicking yourself like that and like, oh, let me fix this to make myself a little more perfect, you're going to find something else that will make yourself a little more perfect. You're going to want to, a little lipo on my thigh and I can do this or I can change that and whatever. So it can become addictive. And I also would like to hear some more conversation about like some of the negative side effects of all these fillers that people are putting in their bodies and the inflammation that it can cause and the health issues that people have that become chronic that are maybe mild issues like, sore joints or whatever, but like that's real stuff that affects your quality of life. And we just pretend like, oh, you just do this and it's totally fine because you added like 3 tons to your backside, that suddenly everything is totally normal and it's fine. And like what that's going to mean for your body in the next 10 to 20 years, who knows, but it's all good. Like we just
it's like
kind of just take it.
Yeah, it's like being happy in the moment, but like it's also like, why did you want to do it? You know what I mean? What was the motivation? Because you saw a music video or something, you know what I mean? Or because you allowed filters to, and it's just really what the effect of society has on us as people. I think the same thing with veneers. I feel like the whole veneer game is like, is like, oh, I don't know what just happened there. I feel like the whole.
I thought I was doing an impression of somebody with veneers. I was like, oh, well, okay.
I know. I was like, what does that sound, honey?
What?
And then my thing is this: if you get surgery, then to see you judging other people is wild to me because some people, I'm not going to say everyone has that insecurity. Some people have to get it because of whatever happened in their lives. But I've seen people who, will literally travel to Brazil, get all their teeth pulled, shaved down and put on. And then they out here talking about, ooh, not the spaces in your teeth. Ooh, not the yellow. Like that's natural. That is a natural thing. And you over here with shaved, I don't see the white teeth. All I know is that I hope you flossing because you got to take that floss and you got to turn it like this to do it around the screw because you know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. That's what bothers me and that it has an effect on the younger generation. And I just want us to be happy with ourselves, but also be thinking about how are my actions affecting the younger generation in what I'm saying, what I'm doing, how I look, and I mean, I put filters on all the time and, for coloring and things like that. But then it's like, you do have to look at how it changes your face. And some filters I won't do because it's like, that ain't my face. And I don't want to see myself with cheekbones up to here because, yeah, that would be fucking everything. And then I'm going to be looking at plastic surgeons like getting a whole fucking facelift. And then I'm going to be out here looking like fucking Black China over here. And I don't want that for myself.
I just don't want to be somewhere and meet somebody. Say I go on a date and then I have this, filtered out picture, and then they meet me in person. They're like, "Who are you?"
Right. Not who are you.
I mean,
but
I would be pissed off.
I've seen that before.
And you look this like this in the picture, and then that's not who you look like. I would just walk out. I can't do it.
Well, all right. Moving on from that, I don't know if you guys saw the video of the two Nigerian brothers. Like, let's go back to the whole Jussie Smollett case. I'm not going to explain the story if you don't know what happened. I mean, the Jussie and the whole MAGA thing and the Subway sandwich. And so these Nigerian brothers who were allegedly hired by Jussie Smollett,
not allegedly, he was found guilty.
He was found guilty. Okay, so we can say it. Girl, I just got this little YouTube, y'all. I ain't trying to do all that. So we just going to say it. That's why I said I might as well just call the show allegedly. They made themselves a little YouTube channel and came out. And to be quite honest, very entertaining. I mean, they were characters. And I think it was you, Courtney. You were like, it felt like a Tyler Perry
play. Definitely felt like a Tyler Perry play.
Like a Tyler Perry skit, to be quite honest. Where they took us on a tour of where, the happenings happened. And I don't believe Jussie's come out and said anything in reference to it. He probably won't because PR-wise, I wouldn't. I'm interested to see what happens. You said what?
I think isn't he like appealing his conviction or something right now? So he definitely wouldn't be saying anything.
Right. I'm interested to see what happens with these guys and where this is going. Because to be honest, like it was hilarious watching it, like their energy. And we live in a world. Funny. Yeah, we live in a world where there's going to be a Netflix documentary in a month from now.
I don't know if we need a documentary, but I would laugh at them on a show.
Right. Like, or imagine they go on a dating show like Too Hot to Handle. Like that would be freaking hilarious.
That would be hilarious. I put that out there. That might just happen.
I can totally see that happening. PM16.
Gary will get them on Ready to Love.
Ready to Love. PM16 says, or breast implants can reject the implant and it's very dangerous. Very true.
Sure.
Veneers, people with perfectly fine teeth, ruin them for big ass chompers. It's crazy.
Agreed.
Hey,
it's crazy.
This is why we need to, instead of looking on Instagram to find motivational quotes that will tell us how to love ourselves, we just need to look in the mirror and fucking love ourselves. And low key, that's why, like, I got news people hitting me up wanting the video of my nephew, and me and his mom are going back and forth. Like, I don't know if, like, we want that for him yet because he's 7. And to be quite honest, he don't even care about it. He could give 2 cares about it. He cared about the first day and he on to the next. So I'm very happy about that. But I don't want people, because when I read some of the negative comments, like the fact that people get on and like talk shit about a 7-year-old is so wild to me.
People are they don't care. But let me ask you this though. Okay, so say a brand or someone wanted to give him money because of his because of the video. How would you feel about that then?
Well, that's the thing. We are open to one brand, and we've very much made that clear with each other. Like, and we all on the same page with it. Like, we don't, like the Today Show, like morning shows are like talking about wanting to do it, but unless you're gonna fly them out there to meet with Lamborghini, because that's what it was. He made Lamborghini noises at a talent show. And unless Lamborghini comes out and is like, yo, we want to give you merch, or come to headquarters and go for a drive, or we'll give you money for a commercial or something like that. And I don't see Lamborghini doing that. I just could see with like the merch stuff, but not a commercial or anything like that. He could care less.
They don't do commercials.
He don't care about a morning show. He don't care about seeing himself on TV. He don't care about how many streams. But like, we're like, Logan, it's almost 2 million. He's like, oh, I forgot to tell everyone at school. Like, he's just, okay. Like, until a Lamborghini pull up in front of that house, or a McLaren, he don't care. He don't care. Arby's was under there. He didn't care. He just don't care. And I love that. That made me feel like, okay, I got hope for the younger generation. that he don't give two craps about none of that.
Also, I think it's parenting, so it's what he's exposed to in his house. So if you guys aren't making it a necessity or making a big deal about it, I think that trickles down to him. You know what I mean? So
Well,
that
no, that's
says
the
a lot of.
thing. Everyone's excited about it in the house. He's the only one that's like, all right, yeah, if you want me to, like, not if we want you to. All right, fans are upset. All right, so there's some things going on. A couple people are in trouble for what they've said. Number one being Lil Uzi Vert. He was at the Rolling Loud concert, and he was chanting about how all the fans are going to hell and they are worshiping Satan by listening to him. And Twitter, TikTok went crazy, just being like, why are we accepting of this? Like, are we not tired? Like, do y'all know what a demon is? And I talked about this, Courtney's talked about this so many times, you guys, like, I just don't get the coolness of it. Like, I just don't get it. Like, it gets to a point where it's like, okay, fine, you know what I mean? Like, artistry, like, you want to have, like, devils and angels. But, like, it gets to a point where it's like, this feels heavy, and it's consistent, and it's just fucking dark, and it's weird. It's just, why? You know, it even makes me then look at, like, when we like, ooh, demon time. Like, no, thank you. You can have that. You can have all the demon time you want. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was cute when Beyonce came out and was like, demon time, I'm on my demon time. But no, not anymore. Because, baby, we done let the demons in. I mean, look at Lil Uzi Vert here. You know what I'm saying? This could be a cool, you know, it's giving me Sum 41. That's an old reference. But, like, why can't it just be rock and roll? Why is it like, why are we chanting to Satan? Why are we chanting to Satan? It's weird. It's just strange to me. If you want to do that, then do that.
We change to Satan anytime soon. So, I mean, I'm good.
Like, I just don't want to be going to see a concert or an artist, and then it's like, now I'm here, and, like, all of a sudden you talking about going to hell and Satan, and, like, now I need to leave. Like, am I going to die? Is this going to be like a Travis Scott thing? Like, no.
Who was it who had those? Who was it? I'm drawing a blank. Who had the Satan sneakers, like the blood Satan sneakers?
Speaking of, that was Lil Nas X, who also got in trouble because he posted a picture. I don't know if she was transgender or if she was just a girl, but I mean, she was beautiful. And he posted her picture on top saying, the surgery went great. Meaning, in his mind, he was saying he transitioned to this girl and he got blasted by the trans community. I mean, Lil Nas X is a troll. He consistently, you know what I mean, tells jokes and does wild things. I don't think he was saying it in a negative way, but we live in, it's 2023, and baby, if you blow hot peppers towards someone allergic, like, you in trouble, you know? So I think this was it, bro. Like, you got called out and you're gay, like, and now we're in the community, and, like, out of all the things Lil Nas has done, like, that's the one. It throws me. And then on the flip side of that, on The View, Whoopi Goldberg used the term gypped, which all these years, the way I thought gypped was spelt with a J, and I mean, I got a lesson. I learned, you know what I mean? Apparently, the gypsy community was upset with Whoopi for using the word gypped, that she had to make a public apology about how, you know, we've been using this word for so long, and, you know, I understand it to a point. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm a gay man that, like, growing up, I used the term gay. Oh, that's gay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, which again, you know, hey, is that self-hatred? Maybe, probably. I mean, I'm fine. You know, we used to use the R word a lot in the 90s. Like, when you really look at the 90s, we was, compared to today, like, just wild times. Like, we just
wild words.
Wild. Right, not the Wild Wild West. It was Wild Wild Words. And right. I don't know. What did you guys think about? What do you think about the Whoopi thing? Like, we're just gonna move on from the Lil Nas X stuff, but what is your take on Whoopi, the Gypped, having to make a public apology? Like, I had to like look up what the gypsy community is, because what a gypsy was when I went to Greece, how that was expressed to me in Greece and the laws. Welcome to LA, y'all.
Oh.
What's your take with the Whoopi thing, Courtney?
I mean, look, on the surface, I'm like, oh, that's so annoying. It's so extra, but I get it. Like, it is I guess, on a certain level, a slur. It is a stereotype that gypsies were, basically dishonest and would cheat you. So that's where gypped comes from. And therefore, in 2023, it's not a nice word to use. So, is it sure? Yes, apologize. You didn't mean to offend anybody. I understand how it can be a part of your lexicon if you are over the age of, 35, and it might slip out, and it is adult of you to be responsible and apologize. But yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that. All of this is like a lot. And I'm still not entirely certain why the Lil Nas X thing was offensive, other than just that it's not nice to joke about transitioning, maybe. And again, I'm not of the trans community, so if they are offended, then they are offended, and he should be apologizing. But I just didn't quite get it with that.
I'm in the same way, and I actually, as I saw it, I was sitting with a friend, and I was like, because I know I follow Lil Nas X, and the man was stripping on Satan, so clearly he has his little antics, right? So. But in this terms, I felt like what he posted was, in his weird way, he was basically saying, like, she's a bad bitch, like, I want to be her, kind of. That's how I took it, reading it.
Me too. Like, I saw it, because I thought it was actually him, like, and it was a mock-up of him as a girl. So I thought that he was just saying, look at how hot she is. Look how hot I am as a woman, basically. But I didn't. I mean, it's not for me to get. I'm not trans. I'm not necessarily needing to be offended for it to be offensive. So I just would like to understand it a little better. But yeah, so good luck, child. And the whole devil thing is a lot. Y'all need to stop. I'm over it.
I'm over it. Like, unholy, like, you can keep that. I don't know. All right, and then the last thing before we get into some celebrity wealth is Amy Robach and TJ Holmes are out here. They trying to slang this TV show. They got a pitch.
They trying to get their celebrity wealth back, child.
Okay. With an up close and personal talk show. They've been pitching it to CBS, NBC, CNN. Personally, for me, not interested unless it's like a cheaters kind of show. Like, I would totally be here for it, like not catfish, but like something like that, where it's like investigative journalism / a reality show having to do with relationships. I don't know, something like that to me would make sense. Other than that, like, girl, I don't know. And I get it, like, I don't think that they should like fully lose their jobs and stuff like that. Like, they definitely should be able to work again. But like, you guys trying to work together, personally for me, unless you guys are getting married, like if you guys aren't together in a year from now we just invested in a new show, and like, for what?
I mean, that's really my thing. At the end of the day, I agree with you. The idea about the cheater show is actually brilliant for the brand, but I know they would never do that. I think it's just too dead on for them to do something like that. But honestly, I think it would be absolutely brilliant for them to do that. But that's my thing. If they do a show together, in a year from now, if they break up, the audience has invested all their time and energy into this relationship. What happens then? You know what I mean? Like, that's my problem with it. I agree with you. I don't think they should have lost their jobs because of them having an affair, because that's their personal business. I mean, I get where it could kind of affect the brand a bit. But I would just say, there's been a lot of controversy with a lot of different people, and maybe just letting it die down a bit would have been, something that could have happened. Let them die down a little bit and then come back slowly back on air. I mean, we have Billy Bush. Let's just use him for an example. All the controversy around him, and he's back on air. But it died. They let it die down a little bit, and I think what he did was probably
agreed
as far as was worse than just two people having an affair who, they also had exposed it to their partners. But I don't know. I don't know about this. I don't know about this talk show. I don't know. I mean, or this TV show thing with both of them. I'm not invested in it just because it would be interesting. I'm not gonna lie. I would watch one or two episodes.
And I would definitely let you come over here and tell us about it.
you said no, you're not. But I just don't see the long term of it.
I think BET needs to give them a morning show and draw audiences to the new BET that would not normally go to BET, and use them to build up their news brand.
Fair enough. Speaking of, Dario, let's get into that celebrity wealth and let us know what is going on with BET right now.
BET.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about BET this week. BET has been in the news because there is a bidding war. So there's a bidding war with BET right now that's taking place. If you have been watching the news, you see that there are three moguls actually that are after BET and trying to get their stake in the company. First being Tyler Perry, second being Byron Allen, and Diddy has just been added to the list as one of the people who is bidding to get BET. So BET was actually bought by Paramount Global in 2000, and they were selling it. Let me start over. So BET was bought from Paramount Global in 2000, and they bought it for $2.34 billion. So there's a lot of money at stake for this, this deal. But it's been in the news this week
that $1 billion, but like $1 billion.
$1 billion. I mean, that's a lot of money. $1 billion. So yes.
Especially in 2000.
2000. Yeah, that's when Paramount Global bought it. From BET, bought BET. Paramount Global bought BET in 2000 for $2.34 billion. So there was a lot of money at stake. But now BET is up for sale, and Tyler's put in his stake. Diddy's put in his stake, and Byron Allen. Now Tyler has a small stake in BET already, so there's talks about that, about who might get it. Who has the bigger bank to get it. I mean, the deal that they did back in 2000 made Bob Johnson the first Black billionaire, and Bob Johnson was the founder of BET. So it's a huge, huge deal. I personally think that this deal will steer more towards Tyler Perry's way, just because of the fact that he already has a small stake in the company. So I think that with that part already established, I feel like the odds for him could be a little bit greater. But I mean, listen, Diddy and Byron Allen both have a lot of money, and they are businessmen. So it could be a very interesting way of seeing where this goes. I mean, the deal would include BET Studios, BET Plus, and also VH1. So it's a lot of stake here. Who do you guys think might be able to outbid the other?
Courtney, where you at?
I don't know who can outbid the other, but I personally would like to see a conglomerate purchase it. So I would like all of them to be like, just like with sports teams ownerships. I feel like all of their voices are essential to make BET what it needs to be. I don't think Tyler should be head of it by himself. I don't think Diddy should be head of it by himself. And Byron Allen might actually be all right by himself, but I feel like the other two, like the other voices would be helpful. So I would love to see like a multi-mogul ownership situation.
Yeah, I am with you on that. Like, so when I hear Diddy, like, I'm like, okay, maybe Diddy can come and make BT, like, you know what I mean? We can get like old shows back, like 106 & Park, like, you know what I mean? Like, or put music videos and things like that back on and like really get the music going. But then I'm also like, as much as I love Diddy, like usually that works for like a year and then and And then I think Tyler Perry, it's like, okay, like I do be watching like The Oval, and what's the other one? Oh my God, with the fucking like weird cult. I've been watching that one too. But like all like dedicated in that direction? No, I feel like I'm 100% agree with you, Courtney. Like I feel like all three of those people, the talent that within each one of them, the powers combined, Captain Planet, bitch. Like yes, like go ahead. Like I support that 100 and 200%. And I would love if this was all a media thing where they're throwing these three names out, and in the end, they all will get some sort of part in it, because I do believe that they are those three people. You know, I would love to see a woman get involved as well. But I think in that stake of it, those three people is a great balance. And so I would be here for all of the above.
Well, for the BET bidding war, there has not been any official statement yet from BET as far as like who they're choosing. I think they're kind of taking all of the bidding collaborates and considering all of them. So there hasn't been anything that's said about it if they're leaning more towards one person or the other. Now, Diddy did make a statement and say that if he would win the BET bidding war, that he would make sure he hires the correct business people and executives to run the business.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he does have a history with Revolt. Obviously with that network, and
how's
obviously,
Revolt doing?
I mean, it's still there.
Where is that?
Well,
I don't know. I know that sounded.
He's got his own channel. Yeah, he's still there. He's got his own channel.
Come on, app. Are we competing with Zeus Network? I don't know. I hope Rihanna comes in and is like, bitch, y'all talking about billionaires? Support it.
Yeah, I still go back to saying that would be great. I mean, and there's still a chance. Maybe she will. You know, she'll start the BET 50X channel. Who knows? But
interesting that VH1 is a part of that. That's interesting because I always been intrigued by MTV, VH1, BET. Like those were the three channels of my childhood. Like it would just be circulating. Yeah. Like in the morning, you turn VH1 on and you watch Jumpstart Video, and they play all the like mellow music in the morning, and then after that, you watch MTV. Throughout the day, they have like fun. They would have music videos, reality shows, and then TRL would come around 3. Then you go to 106 in Park. Then you're on BET after that, and then you're pretty much on BET for the rest of the evening, until like, yeah. And then I don't know. It just changed, and then VH1 became, I Love New York happened, and then they went running. And then MTV was like, well, we're really just going to play Catfish and that Rob show, and we're just going to commit to that. And BET was like, honestly, BET, I feel like, has been doing the best and the most and creating programming, different type of programming in comparison to MTV or, VH1 got the reality shows. I'll give them that. But I don't know. It's interesting that VH1 is tied into that. It's like, well, at this point, just throw MTV in there too, because what are y'all doing with that? Viacom.
Well, I think that MTV, they all transitioned into just music video, or non-music videos, I should say. It's just all content, reality TV shows. So that was the big change, I think, for them. BET, same thing. I mean, BET really transitioned from, obviously music videos to all original content, primarily by Tyler Perry.
Shout out to Chad Peters in the chat. He said, it should be Tyler. The folks love and support what he does, and he's kept BET alive. Jesse, I love the new setting. Thank you. Glad to see you and Courtney after a while. A lot going on in Houston schools. Oh, well, I heard just a lot going on in schools, period. I don't know if...
Well, child, LAUSD is about to strike. Kids ain't going to be in school next week.
It's true.
Crazy.
It's
craziness.
A lot going on. Well, shout out to you, Chad, and we hope things are getting better down in Houston. D, let's talk about something positive. Ryan Reynolds, what's going on?
Yes, Ryan Reynolds, our Deadpool actor, has been in the news this week as well because he made a very smart purchase. So Ryan Reynolds was a co-stake owner in Mint Mobile, which is now being acquired by T-Mobile, and the deal is estimated to be worth about $1.35 billion. So it is a huge deal for Ryan Reynolds. I mean, he actually went to his Twitter the other day and was mentioning the fact that he was very pleasantly surprised and very grateful over the deal after hearing about it. And the deal's still in the works. They said by the end of the year that they probably will finalize the deal. And it's a bit unconventional that Ryan was mentioning for him because a lot of the celebrities who are building their celebrity wealth have gone into skincare or beauty or fashion. And this is more on the techie side. So the fact that it's being, sold for $1.35 billion is huge. Ryan currently is worth about $300 million. So he will be adding a lot of coins to his bank account very soon.
I
Hey,
love
he
it.
need him, child, 'cause he got 4 kids and a wife.
Oh,
Take care of the whole family.
okay. And I mean, she make her own money too. So shout out to them. I love them as a couple. I think that
Yeah, they're fun.
they seem down to earth, cool. And again, I thought that was really cool that you said that. I agree. In a world where everyone has a perfume of moisturizer, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's dope that he chose a cell phone line, which actually pretty decent pricing. Because I'm not gonna lie, there was a moment I was looking at it like Verizon was getting on my nerves, talking about $400 a month. Like, I know you lying, So
Yeah.
I looked at it and the pricing was pretty good. But then Verizon got their act together, so I'm still with them. But yeah, shout
Yeah,
out
what's
to Ryan
so
Reynolds.
cool about the deal is that Ryan, since he's the minority ownership in the company, he owns about 25% of the company. He's going to stay on as the spokesperson, and then the business will be run through the deal that's presented.
I think it's really interesting too. Just random side note with T-Mobile because they done bought up Sprint and now this, and I'm like, oh, they really trying. Who run the world? T-Mobile.
T-Mobile.
Like they looking at Dunkin' Donuts like America runs on Dunkin' and T-Mobile.
T-Mobile, child.
Now
And
what
their
I
reception is really good out of the country, so they doing real good.
and like if they was smart, T-Mobile, like at this point, I mean, then we giving you a little too much power. But can I just say, like, can we get a new internet provider and a new cable provider because this Comcast and Xfinity and like no other options is wild.
Well, you got Spectrum and you got Verizon now. Verizon's trying to get me to change over because Spectrum is tripping.
Oh, when I tell you Verizon sent me that $25 a month, I said, well,
Yeah. But do you want 5G waves all up in your house for internet?
girl, we 5G waving it with the hotspot for this live stream right now, the way this is working.
Exactly. But that's
So,
temporary. Do you want it 24/7?
but don't you feel like that's just like, even if I don't have it, like me just sitting here, like, guarantee you whoever's above me or beside me or is 5G
There
in,
was always some, absolutely. But it is also more when it's literally your hotspot in your house that is on 24/7 that you do everything with.
very true. You're right, and that's scary too. And I need to look a little deeper into that because I'm just like, I'd really be worrying. Like at nighttime, like now, I've really been good about plugging my phone away from my bed, which has helped me with sleeping
Yeah.
and like not and like just allowing my body to wake me up, and which wakes me up before my alarm clock. Love that. Um,
That's pretty good.
but like I do like recently, I have been thinking about that. Like I don't want it near. Like I at first I was plugging it on the other side of the room, but like behind my head, kind of. And I was like, "Oh, I don't know if I like that. I want it like in front of my feet, like I don't, as if that's gonna make a difference." But I don't know. That cell phone thing is
Possible.
real. And then I'd be worried about putting it in my pocket and like it gonna give me like
Oh yeah.
thigh cancer or testicular cancer. Like I don't know.
I mean, that's real.
All
Those are
struggles.
real issues.
Okay, Chad says my AT&T goes out on the regular. I hear y'all. The reset is on repeat. Okay. Yeah, and honestly, with this weather, on top of that, because like
Crazy.
the
Yeah.
internet be acting wild. Boom.
Mine's been acting.
Hey, all right, D, you got any other stories for us?
No, that's it. That's all we got this week.
All right, all right. Where can everyone follow you and keep in contact?
You can find me at Daryl Christon. That's DERRIALCHRISTON. And if you want to see me live next Thursday, I'll be on NBC News Live NBC News Now doing a live segment. So you can catch me there.
Okay. Boom, boom. We'll catch you there, and we'll catch you back here next week. All right.
All right, y'all.
Go ahead, get that yawn in. All right.
Yawn.
We gonna jump into Housewives, but I'm gonna be real with y'all. We're not talking about Jersey. It was just, I don't know what you would want.
It was a baseball game. It was fun. Yay.
Yeah.
They raised $200,000. That was important.
Okay, that was cool. And then I would say the only other thing from there is that this was what I would call a build-up episode. And it was Danielle basically letting Margaret know that Teresa feels that Margaret is a better friend than an enemy. Which, again, the fact that this is going to lead into something is so wild because, like, what? And exactly like what Margaret said, like, girl, look who's talking. Exhausting. Whole episode.
Exactly.
And
one little minor thing that ended that episode with Bill and Jennifer.
Yeah, Bill.
At the therapist.
Okay, go ahead. What are you going to say about it?
I was just cringing the whole time. And I'm no Jennifer Aiden fan. I do think she brings entertainment value to the show with her obnoxiousness, but I find her annoying. But watching her with Bill at that therapist, and like, I've had it up to here. I fully believe that she does feel like the help, and he probably treats her like the help. But I also feel like he is super annoyed by her and doesn't want to deal with her. And it was just bad. And when the therapist is like, Bill doesn't speak. Bill, do you want to speak up? Do you want to say something? And then Jennifer goes off. He never says anything. He cheated and didn't say anything. I forgave him. He didn't say anything. I was like, girl, this ain't about your kids. You ain't worked this out yourself. Please work this out.
Yeah, it's giving Lenny and Lisa personally. Like,
definitely.
I just feel like it's, girl, you don't look in the mirror. And he's exhausted. and at the same time, he made a mistake, shitty mistake, and there's resentment there. And he looked like he was going through it. Like, I've never seen him with his hair disheveled like that. And I was just looking at his hair like, oh, Bill.
He just looks so over it and like just feeling like there's so many things, though, that he would say, but he knows it's going to be not understood or received, and he has completely given up. Like, he just seems checked out to me.
Yeah.
About actually solving what's actually going on in the relationship.
Exactly. All right, so let's get into Real Housewives of Miami, because honestly, we and Courtney were talking about it at the beginning, before we started the show. I think, personally, I'm loving this reunion, more so because of the way it's shot. And I felt like this second part, obviously it felt like a reunion, but because there was so much going on backstage and the way they were doing like throwback clips and stuff like that, like it made it feel like an episode. But like, I don't know, it was just super engaging for me. And we started it off where we left off with Alexia. Again, like I said, the color is eggshell. And she feels like she believes in herself, and that's her mantra. But we see her go backstage, and she goes to Julia to apologize to Julia, or not apologize to Julia, to let Julia know that her apology was real. Girl, you're full of it. You went back there to do that, to rub it in Adriana's face. And I that's my personal belief. I feel like you wasn't really caring about Julia. You made your apology, but you wanted to push the knife further into Adriana and say, and kind of big up Julia to try to keep Julia on your side. I don't know. What do you agree with that? Do you feel like
my thought of that is actually that not so much that she was necessarily trying to like dig Adriana as much as she is a loudly wrong type of person, but then also gets sensitive when she feels like people don't like her or think ill of her. And I think that
Yeah.
Julia is coming off as a very sympathetic figure in this reunion. And as much as Alexia knows she's wrong about things and the way she's treating people, she's never going to say that for real, other than the little bit of an apology that she kind of gave to Julia. And I think that she came back to Julia trying to get Julia, like you said, to be on her team. But just because, like she said, even when she was like screaming at Adriana at one point, I'm not a mean girl. I'm a kind-hearted person. I'm a sweet person. And if you have to say that, you're not that girl. And so all the read that everybody in audience is getting about you being a mean girl is actually accurate. You just don't like to feel like people think that of you, but you're not actually willing to make any changes about what you need to do that. Even the argument about her being confident, and when I think it was Lisa saying, you know, sometimes you overtalk people and you don't actually hear them. And she literally made that her coping mechanism for everything that she's been through.
Right.
It's like, no, that means you're a poor communicator and you need to shut the fuck up and listen to your friends sometimes, because sometimes what they have to say matters. But she doesn't want to actually hear that. But she also doesn't want to be thought of as the bad person. So she's just trying to play victim and simultaneously the power figure all at the same time. And it's really obnoxious to me. And also, I don't want to talk about nobody, but something about that dress and them boobs looking like one boob with that strap down the middle. Her dress is really bad. And I didn't think it was that bad at first. And then I saw it backstage. I was like, why? That's a terrible dress. It's awful. It just does her no justice.
And honestly, though, now that you say that, because honestly, I don't like any of the girls' dresses. Watching it the second time, watching them, like, even Gertie, when I thought, like, okay, last week I was like, okay, I come into it. No, I'm not. Watching it this time, I was like, girl, it's giving the Ghost of Christmas Past. Like, where's Scrooge? Like, I just hear the changs, chang-a-lang, chang-a-lang. Like, unless
I still like it.
Here's my thing, though. If it was gold, sold. If it was, that's what I was looking at the whole time today. If it was gold, I would be here for it. But, like, the silver was just, I just couldn't not see. Good morning. What day is it? Like, ching, ching, ching. Like, get in the bed. We're going to go see your past. I just can't. And Nicole told Gertie that she thinks Alexia is only apologizing because she had to. Agreed. And to tie into what Courtney said, like, just because she doesn't want the world to think she's this person. PM16 says, I'm so tired of her crying to get out of being accountable. Agreed. And that's what it's getting.
Yes.
And PM also liked the dress. Well, y'all can see around the holiday season.
Wait, which dress? We talking about Gertie's or Alexia's?
No, I think he's talking about, they are talking about Gertie's, because you said you didn't like Alexia's, but you liked Gertie's. All right. Then I said I liked this behind the scene and the flashbacks. I felt like it made the reunion fuller. And again, guys, welcome to LA. We're just going to hear all the sirens. And
what's funny is I wasn't sure if that was me. My sirens are yours.
Girl, look. And I'm in a real cute area too, but the way there was someone on something last night screaming
Hollywood
and like
LA.
vocalizing way too many things. Like, I shouldn't have known those things about that person's life, but like, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right, now let's get into Larsa.
Oof.
And I also think it was interesting when all the girls were talking about their sex life, because me and Courtney be talking about obviously that stuff where mine's non-existent. I've really just kind of like gone into like this asexual part of my life for the past
Yes.
and I'm open to it and I love it right now, and I tell myself that I love it because I'm over I'm not a meaningless sex person, like, and I get that people can be that, and I love that for them.
Yeah.
For me, it's not. Like, I just think about energy. I think about and then I also think about STDs. And I also, I have erased it from my mind because I used to think it was like, oh, the gay world. But it's like everyone, because straight men are disgusting themselves. Straight
men are whores. They're horrible. Terrible.
But
terrible.
I'm like, it's not a thing for me anymore. But Larsa said she had sex 28 times a week for 23 years straight. and that Scottie Pippen was piping the Pippen down. And I love that for her if that's what she loved. But like, girl, now you sounded like you was just exhausted and like a blow up sex.
Well, no, it sounds like you were just like laying there for like 30 seconds for him to blow off, and then waking up again 5 minutes later for 30 more seconds. Like they're like, look, I'm all for like multiple times a day. Like it happens. It's amazing. Like, yeah. But every single night.
Right. Every single night. Like, you
know. 4
know.
times a night.
Right.
And let's not, like they said, poor vagina. Like, I am of the camp where there have been multiple times, and like abrasions and friction can injure the vagina.
Right,
so
it's called a fissure.
That's also possible depending on what you're doing. But yeah, so like the idea that just seems like her trying to one up everybody that like, oh my God, are you kidding? I did it like 800 million times a day.
Yeah, I mean,
because then like he was a professional athlete, so that's like training and what do you call it, practice and games and travel. Like, I don't believe
but
it.
I mean,
Sorry.
honestly, I do think that there is some insecurity. Like, I see insecurity within her, and so like if you trying to keep your man, girl, like you run it. She's like, he had a private plane. Like we were not separate. That gives me trust issues, and that's where I felt about that. Then Andy, okay, I just like did not like Andy about like, I don't know, I'm not into Andy this reunion.
I 100% disagree, but go ahead.
Okay, so then he joked about, you know, Marcus, and she said, oh, he has size 15 shoe. Okay, then Andy pressed because of the whole Scottie and Michael thing. And he thinks that that's wild, which it is wild. But we live in the world of love and hip hop, reality TV. Like, Andy, your show is wild. Like, and we've seen just as crazy things across the board. And then, but he asked if Michael Jordan's ex-wife dated little Scottie, how would you be okay with that? And she said, yeah, I'd be fine with it if he's happy. Girl, that's a lie, because you paused and you thought about it, and it would be crazy. It would be crazy. Now, I'm not going to take away the fact that I do not believe that she is dating Marcus to try and get Scottie back. Personally, I do not believe that is what's happening.
Who thinks that? I don't think she wants Scottie at all.
Well, no, that's what he was kind of alluding to, the fact that, like, you're dating this guy, like, it kind of feels like it's, like, you being messy. I don't believe she's actively being messy. Yes, it is messy. I don't believe she is doing that in that purpose. I believe it's like, you know, we live in LA. It's a small world. You meet someone, and, girl, if you want to think you are in love with this man, because I get it. I get when you think you in love with somebody. But, girl, this probably ain't it. And maybe it is it. You know what I'm saying? But, like, you admit that you think it is crazy. Admit that it is crazy. Admit that if Lil Scottie was dating Michael Jordan's ex-wife, you would be like, you would have a sit-down conversation with that wife and be like, girl, what? Let's have a talk. Like, my son? Like, and if you didn't, then I'm questioning you now, because that's crazy. That is weird, and it is wild. That's not why I'm irritated with Andy. Then he asked, I'm not irritated with any of this stuff with Andy. I said that too soon. He said, what would the hyphenated last name be? Larsa Pippen Jordan. That was fucking hilarious. I'm not going to lie.
That was great.
And I hope she would take one of them away, because that's
get rid of the Pippen, please.
Period. Yes. She said Marcus. PMP says Market. PM616 says Marcus is Larsa's lapdog. Why does he follow her around everywhere? I mean, I don't know his life, but like
I had questions about like, what does he do? Like, I don't know anything about him, so like, is he in entertainment or something? But like, He seems like a very delicate, kind person, but definitely feels like he's kind of like traipsing after her. But maybe he just is in the entertainment industry and has time to just be like hanging out when she's, at the reunion.
Yeah, and it's giving, if I was Michael Jordan's son, well, that's not true. I wouldn't be playing basketball, but I would have businesses and I would be using my name and my Nepo name and likeness for all the things. Yeah. But he does give me like he's probably a good boy, a good guy, and it is giving like accessory. Perfect word. Then the question was, does Larsa hit below the belt? All the girls say yes. Larsa didn't deny it. We've talked about this how many times. I think what Kiki said is true. She said, I'm not mad at her because if you feel like you getting shaded, like, and your shade just hits a little harder, then that's what it is. And again, same thing with Alexia. Like, we know Alexia is crazy. So stop depending on like serious things with Alexia. Alexia is someone you just like, oh girl, bye girl, dust it away. Like, we're not like trying to like build meaningful friendships and relationships with Alexia. It's like, girl, I'll show up to your party. I'm gonna hug your son. He's cute. We love him.
I'm glad you brought that up because Alexia actually said that about Adriana when she was back there with Julia, and she said we were surface friends. We weren't like friends. And I feel like Adriana lived in a space where like, that's my real friend. And it's like, no, girl, you didn't realize y'all are just.
But Alexia even said that on the couch. She said, what are these problems? They're in her head, which, again, like, and if you're not real, I know who my real friends are. I call it the spice rack. Every year, you need to go through your spices because let me tell you, the way my grandmother had this cinnamon sugar, I mean, it was in this little Santa Claus thing. It was Domino cinnamon sugar. And I'm like, yeah, you been had this since I was a child. Like, she's like,
hashtag guilty.
Hashtag guilty. No, trust me. The only reason I brought it up to her was because I had seen an article about how like, it was an article, not a set of article, you guys, and it was like a TikTok about people making fun. It was like a TikTok. About people making fun of like people who have use spices for like way too long, period. Like, I was raised in that. Like, my grandmother has all the spices, like, and low key, it's like, girl, this ain't even oregano at this point. Like, this ain't, what flavor is this? And like, honestly, is this toxic to us? Yes, it is, just so you know. So, like, in friendships, you take all those spices down, you get rid of the ones with the expiration dates, but then there's some like paprika. Like, I'm not using paprika every day. For some things, I like paprika. Ginger, not something I'm putting on my food every day. In my tea, yeah, catch that one. So it's like, just like your spices, you got to put them on shelves. And I feel like, Adriana, you at an age where you need to wake up to that because you're successful, you got money, you are beautiful. You stressing over this girl for what?
Yeah.
For what? Like, you're causing exhaustion in your own life. And these people are not your friends. These are your coworkers. And I think that's a whole nother conversation about, because trust me, I've worked in spaces where I'm like, oh my God, these are my friends. It's like, and then you leave the job and it's like, we just went through the same traumatic experience, I guess. All right, fair enough. And so I feel like that's just what Adriana needs to go through. And Alexia, the fact that Alexia realized that and knew that, she crazy, but at least she was present for that one. Julia said she didn't understand Larsa. Oh, with the whole kiss thing. I mean, I don't even really want to talk about this, to be honest. I just think it's a language barrier because...
Yeah, because that whole argument was like, oh God, stop screeching. This is too much.
Yeah.
What are we arguing?
Larsa literally was like, girl, I heard about it last week. I didn't say you was kissing him last week. I heard about it last week. And she was like, and I wasn't there last week. It's like, girl, what? Like, and at
Yeah.
that point, Andy, that's why I need you to step in and be the host and say, well, just like you over explain the next situation with Nicole. So Andy wanted to know about this DM that Larsa got, but then Marisol got it first, and then just all the girls are getting it. And Marisol says that lots of people are saying Nicole has slept with coworkers. And that stems into Julia saying that, out of everyone here, she just gives me Celine Dion so much with the way she talks. Out of everyone here, the person that I trust the most is this girl right here, Nicole. And I was like, dang, that is so shady to Adriana. Like, God, I'm not going to say
But until she explained why.
Yeah, but like, no, like, because like.
Yes, because her love of her life was put in this woman's hands. Like, it's something completely not to do with friendship at all.
I get it, but then it's like, why are you saying that? Like, I would hope so. She's a fucking doctor. And what Larsa is, it's dramatic. And, but it's like, again, I just feel like the conversation of like, you can be a good doctor and you can be a hoe. Those two things could be possible. I'm not saying that she is. I'm just saying these are two different conversations from what we are having. Okay? TJ Holmes, Amy Robach, great hosts. They did something that was just, a little like, well, aren't you still married? Oh, ain't fully, you know what I'm saying? It's just two different conversations. It has nothing to do with their talent. I would hope Nicole is not like, what's that, The Nurse on Netflix, if you ever seen that one? Like I would hope not. Like that's a whole nother conversation we're having here. But like we spoke about earlier, Larsa hits below the belt. Now, when Larsa saw that DM, did she believe that DM? Probably not. But continuously, like Larsa has with Nicole, she feels like she has to defend herself with Nicole. This is how I feel. I feel like I understand what Larsa is saying. Does it make it right? No. But I understand, and I feel like we're holding this flame to Larsa, or Andy is holding a flame to Larsa, but not understanding what Larsa is saying about Nicole, where I felt like Kiki understood it. It's like, girl, you was over here saying this. You called her a homewrecker. You allowed your man to call her a homewrecker. And just because it was on TV does not mean that these conversations are not heard or spoken about off camera or while filming is happening. Larsa, I feel like, very much knows that Nicole judges her, which Nicole has been vocal about, that she judged her. Now, did Larsa say, oh, you are out here fucking everybody? No, she said, well, I heard. Okay. Like, and she ran with it, girl. Like, it's a rumor. Just like you heard she was a homewrecker and your man was. Or that then you're holding to the fire that she said, well, you had a kid out of wedlock. She didn't just come out and attack and say, you had a kid out of wedlock. She said, girl, you're judging me. I'm not judging you because of, this action. And then it was the end of the conversation, and your man took that personal. And it's like, well, I can understand why a man would get defensive over his kid. It's like she was never coming for your kid. She was explaining.
Yeah, she was, though.
How? Because I don't look at it like that.
This is real girl fighting, because the same way that you're claiming, like, oh, you judged me first because you wanted to know me before inviting me in your house. You're saying the same thing by saying, well, I was married when I had my kids. You weren't married. That is a judgment. That is an
I'm
attack
not saying
on
it
the
is.
kid. That 100%. And my issue with the whole thing is that Larsa just refuses to take any accountability for that.
Just
it's like, yeah,
Nicole
I did judge you because I do think you could possibly be a hoe, but I'm still willing to get to know you. And that's why I feel like her mean girlness, when she comes at it, it doesn't land for me, because then it's like throwing your rock and hiding your hand. Like, don't pretend like you don't know what you're doing if you're going to do it. If you're going to do it, just do it and stand by it. But she's trying to act like, no, that's not what I was doing. I don't judge her. I don't judge anybody. No, you were judging her because she was judging you. And just be real about it. Don't pretend like you're avoiding it somehow, or you're just bringing this up because it happens to be in the ether. No, you were trying to throw a dagger. You threw a dagger on purpose.
But
Don't
she
front
threw
like
a
you
dagger
didn't.
to explain, like, girl, you doing
I
this
don't
to
care
me.
why. It's irrelevant why.
I mean,
The whole reason Andy got pissed off and kept saying like, "Girl, this don't make sense to you," is because she's refusing to accept that it was even a dagger thrown. She acts like,
but
"Oh, I
Nicole
just
is
say what I
refusing
hear
the same
and what I
thing.
found out."
But Nicole's refusing to accept the same thing. All the girls on that stage have very much.
Nicole already apologized to her about saying, she literally already had a conversation about, "Oh, I wanted to get to know you first before you were in the house because I've heard things about you and you were with the Kardashians, but I didn't know you. And I'm sorry you feel like that was me judging you, and maybe it was." They already had that conversation.
Right. And then now the homewrecker conversation happened after that apology, and then you disinvite her to the thing, which whatever.
But what happened before the homewrecker conversation is all of this stuff that continues about her sleeping with the whole hospital. And then
No,
not
the
to back
homewrecker
off.
thing was before the hospital comment.
But Larsa was not there when her husband said that she's a homewrecker. And also, for the record, I don't think it's fair when the husband says something that you're coming at the girl for it. Because these husbands say stuff all the time.
Very true, but
and we're always
Nicole
like,
was
"Ew,
definitely
we don't
out
want the
there
guys
laughing.
to be in the mix."
Nicole did not say, "Oh, we don't know that." Like, she was laughing
She
along.
did like this, like, "Oh shit, no, you didn't just say that." She literally leaned down like this at the table.
Right, because she was
and of
laughing
course she took
and
some
like,
pleasure in
you
it
said
because
it,
Larsa's been an asshole to her. Are we forgetting the whole last season?
No.
Nobody's pretending like they're friends here. And again, I'm here for Larsa. If you're gonna be the same way with Alexia, don't pretend like you're a victim when you are also being an asshole. If you're gonna be an asshole, say, "I'm being an asshole because you're an asshole too."
Right.
Don't
I
pretend
agree
like,
with
"Oh,
that.
I don't do anything. I'm not doing anything." What do you mean? It doesn't make sense. You're loud and you're wrong. You're both assholes. So stop pretending like you're not.
1,000,000%.
Or that your assholeness is more justified because of whatever you've decided is more important. That's bullshit. You're on a show together. You're both being assholes to each other. So just be that.
Well, and that's
the same way you keep denying your ass.
I think that they're both. I think they both are assholes. I don't think one is over the other. My issue was more with Andy. Like, bro, you're the host, and just as you want to make Larsa understand this, literally all those girls on the couch tried to let Nicole understand the same thing. So I just wish as a host, you would have, it felt like very one-sided. And maybe it was just because it was a whole Larsa package this episode, but it just came across like Andy didn't try to get Nicole to understand any of her actions.
Because honestly, if I'm being like, and I think it's, call me a bad host though, but literally I would be Andy because it's literally like throwing you a line like, "Girl, you don't get this? Like, you look stupid. You look stupid saying what you're saying right now. Just like you can dig yourself out of this because they're all dicks. Be in what's the truth and not like in denial about what you just did and what's happening." And then to call it, say you get a real job, like, girl, what are you talking about? You sound crazy, and you're supposed to be the smart one in this team. And you're supposed to be the smart, skilled one with your shade and all the nonsense that you're throwing, and you making yourself look bad right now. And honestly, like, I feel like that was throwing her a line, like giving her a moment, like, can you calm down for a second because you in your feelings and actually see what's being said right here and why that makes you look crazy. And you can fix this. And for me, because it lost me for Larsa altogether. I was like, girl, you better than this, or you supposed to be.
I don't know. I didn't take it like any of that, but everyone likes what they like and sees things how they see things. But I don't know. I just am the whole Nicole trying to be above. It feels like Nicole tries to be above things as well, and Larsa does too. It's just like I wish. And also, I don't know why I've been thinking Larsa's a Taurus. I don't know why I looked that up. She is not. She's a Cancer, and I don't know why.
I was gonna say she don't get no Taurus energy at all to me.
Right, because the Taurus definitely would be like, no, bitch, I am being an asshole. Larsa horoscope. Because we looked it up today, and I was like, oh, she's a Cancer. Interesting. And I wonder what Nicole is, but I don't even know what her last name is, so I actually don't care.
I bet she's a Taurus.
No, she's not buck enough.
I think education does that. And when she has to, and because she has something to lose in a way that those other girls do not.
No, she gives me a Libra, to be quite honest.
Just like Wendy on Potomac.
No, really? I like Wendy over
I don't think
Nicole.
they're the same. I'm not saying I think their energies are the same. I'm saying that they both are not fully in themselves in conflict on these shows because they have things that are different levels to lose if they behave badly.
Right. Well, y'all all on the wrong shows. I'm sorry. You should been on Married to Med. Well, not even that one, actually.
Well, I mean, I still think it works for her, like, because she's still coming, like, with what she has. Like, I'm not disappointed in Nicole's performance on this show.
Alexia is a Taurus. That makes sense, actually.
That's a joke. She must be a bad one, child, because she also comes. Maybe I'm a judgy person because I'd be like, girl, you sound dumb. Like, and I know every Taurus in the world can't be smart, but like, you just be sounding dumb.
We know one that's not, but that's another story for another day. Let's just go through this right now because this is actually really interesting to me, and I don't know why someone posted this. Shout out to
going through all of their zodiac.
Yeah, because that's actually really interesting. Shout out to thethings.com. Didn't know what this is, but shout out to you. And
what is Marisol?
And shout out to McKinley Franklin who posted this. All right, so Gertie is a Capricorn. Totally see it. Such a businesswoman and like puts a front on, but like really has this like whole behind the scenes thing, but like all about her business. Totally see that for her. Marisol is also a Capricorn. Interesting. I would have thought she was a Sagittarius. She gives me like witchy vibes. Maybe that's because of her mom.
That might be because of her mom, yeah.
Oh, whoa. Marisol is a triple Capricorn. That's crazy. Her sun, moon, and ascending sign are all Capricorn.
I don't even know what that means.
That just means usually if you have all three of something, like that is, you are, and it makes sense. That's probably why she drinks a lot. She's a girl is internally stressed. Then we got Alexia, who is a Taurus, May 3rd. Oh, okay. And I just think Alexia has, I'm just going to put it in a way of like, I just feel like she was traumatized at a certain age, and that is why the way she is, because I love Tauruses and I love dealing with them. Like I can like actively be around Tauruses and their vibe is like calming to me. Nothing about her energy gives me like it would be a calm experience.
Not at all. Not at all.
Kiki, who I wanted to be my favorite until this right now, she is a Gemini, and that makes me very nervous because Lord knows I do not care for Geminis because they be the sweetest, kindest. They just be so nice. And then baby, they get a sneeze and it's a whole new person, fucking Chucky, like. And that was her. That was her screaming at that.
That was her screaming. But all Geminis, just because it's more than one face, doesn't mean that the other face is always bad. I dated a Gemini for 2.5 years.
And what happened with that? Was it him or you?
We graduated college, and I didn't want to do a long distance relationship.
Taurus. She was like, "Nope, bye." All right, what do you think Julia is? This is totally makes sense. This is.
I have no idea. I mean, she gives me a little bit of Virgo, but she's crazy. So, like, I don't know. I have no idea.
She is a Cancer.
Aries?
She's Cancer. Which I'm very interested to see if Adriana is too, because Julia, she's super motherly. Like, she's very like, wants everyone to get along. Come along now. Everyone get along. Very like inner feelings, super like inner feelings like in her relationship. Totally see that for her. Larsa is also a Cancer. Again, I guess everyone says she's a great mom, so okay. Lisa is a Leo. Interesting.
I buy that, yeah.
I just don't see the like raw in her. That's my thing.
Look, here's here's my thing. I met the most Leos later in life, but actually I don't know, and they're not as raw as I thought they were supposed to be. Apparently,
That's
they're
true.
very sensitive. They're very
No,
sensitive,
very
and
sensitive.
most of their raw comes out of their like hypersensitivity.
It says Leos love to be the center of attention, which, I mean, the way she puts herself together, 100%. Yeah, moving on from that. Nicole. Ugh, I hate this right now. This is, look at God. God just want to fucking us. Not a Virgo.
Ah,
That's why she got a good job, though.
and that's why she bought her business, and it's like, you're not gonna fuck my shit up with your lies.
Period. And Adriana, interesting, is a Sagittarius. Interesting. Sagittariuses, I do love women Sagittariuses, but they have a very crazy side. Like a very crazy side. And well, baby, if the cookie's cooking, shout out to that. All right. And then the last thing we saw was Kiki. Oh, wait, not the last, but I loved Kiki talking about she can tell a fuckboy by the shape of their head.
That was funny.
And Andy was
And
like,
then
well, what
like,
about me?
Andy, suspect.
Baby. And them stories I heard
wild.
about. Them stories I heard about when Andy be coming over here to Los Angeles.
Andy's a wild boy, child.
Okay. He be looking for all the dates. Rumor allegedly happening. Boom. And then we'll see what happens next week. Again, I hope this
Well, Kiki introduced that Lenny had been like humping all the models forever.
Okay.
And that was it.
But like, and then I guess we'll get next week. We'll get like, why would you hold that and not like really fully?
She wasn't friends with her.
That's true.
But did you see everybody on the couch when Lisa was talking about like, because Andy asked her like how their sex life was, how the relationship had been, and Lisa's like, up until about 2 months before everything went crazy, like we were in good shape and and he asked, did they cheat? And the looks between Marisol.
Oh wait, okay. See, my peacock cut off right at after the fuckboy head thing. So okay, wait, what?
Side note, I don't like that about Peacock. It be cutting stuff off. Like it's
girl,
weird
it went right into Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Going to another episode, yeah.
Wait,
but
okay,
yeah.
So what happened?
So the last like scene, they're sitting on the couch. They had talked a little bit more about her relationship with Lenny, and basically, Lisa was saying that like things were for the most part fine. Like she was like, well, we were only having sex like maybe once a week later in the marriage, but then like it was still like normal for us up until about 2 months before everything went haywire. And Kiki and Marisol were looking at each other like, girl, what I know, yeah, they definitely both were like looking like, girl, she crazy, because that's not what was going down. And then Andy threw it to Kiki like, did you know? And Kiki basically said, yeah, I've been to the Halloween parties multiple times over the years. I didn't know Lisa, but I was usually invited by, a promoter or some friends or whoever. So I've definitely been to the parties, and I've known multiple models that he's cheated with. And everybody's like, oh. So yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens next week. But again, I'm loving this edit. I hope this is something that Bravo will take into consideration moving forward. And, again, we do get behind the scene kind of stuff, but like there's something about the way this was set up and chopped up. It
was very well produced.
Yeah, it feels like a good episode. All right. Well, Courtney, where can everyone follow you? Keep in contact all week. Not we finish this in an hour and a half. Come on.
Look at us moving fast because we don't have 3 damn housewife shows.
That's so true. And although we get Girls Trip starting next week?
Yeah, but that's when Miami's done. So it'll still be 2.
Perfect.
But yeah, you can follow me everywhere on the Instagrams and whatnot at Stuart Starlet.
Boom. You guys can hit me up everywhere at DJ Jesse J. Hit us up at Next Mood Swing across all social media platform. Until next week, same time, same place. Peace.